She was as elegant as the most beautiful butterfly with brightly colored wings. She was a blonde beauty, and she shined bright into all of our lives. She showed us kindness, she showed us peace, she showed us love, laughter, and strength. It was all about those nights on her favorite holiday, Thanksgiving, where we would gather together and play her favorite game, Scrabble. Those were the nights that so many memories were shared at that big blue house that sat high on the hill in Florida. It's where we smelt the huge feast that she cooked homemade for us. It was where my childhood began. My grandmother, Nani, is my greatest inspiration. And although she was successful at many things in life, raising my dad and uncles, being an excellent businesswoman, and being great in the garden are three things that stood out to me today. First, my grandmother did an amazing job at raising my dad and uncles. She showed them qualities such as patience and working hard at what they do. They show patience on an everyday basis because they never get into fights with the people around them, whether it's physically or emotionally. They keep the peace, and that's important. They also work hard at what they do, and they show this because they are in the construction industry, which in summary means that they shed blood, sweat, and tears on a daily basis. From what she taught them, I now know, and I put those qualities to use. Now moving forward, the second thing she was successful at is business. She showed this through bringing up a business in Pennsylvania, which was a restaurant. She also brought up and maintained my dad and my uncle's businesses in construction, and they're still successful to today. She was not an ordinary business maker. She was pretty unique. Most often, people in business will use this application called QuickBooks to manage their company. This is basically a technical application on your computer where you type in information and it spits out the results for you. But she did everything by hand. She would write out all the information and figure out the results herself. That's astonishing. Lastly, she was great in the gardening. This showed because she had so many plants on the outside of her house that were kept well maintained. She also helped my other grandmother, Mimi, with pruning and weeding out her garden. The most diligent plant that stood out to me that she had was this huge tree right next to her garage and right next to her hose that was a huge pink flowering tree that blossomed in the spring and the summer. Every time I see this plant in person, it reminds me of her and all the memories we shared together. It will forever stay in my heart. Aside from just loving plants, she also loved nature as a whole, and she showed this through photography of birds. And those pictures were absolutely beautiful. Now, this eulogy does not do justice for how truly amazing my grandmother Nani was. She showed us kindness, peace, love, laughter, and strength. Those qualities have spread to me like a wildflower into my roots. Did I mention that she gave me her taste? Everybody knows that she loved her two-door Porsches, and one day I'll be just like her and I'll have a Porsche myself. She was successful at raising my dad and uncles. She was great at building businesses, and she handed me her love of gardening. My grandmother, my mentor, my home, my happiness, Nani.